I learned early that silence made people comfortable. You never talk, Liam said beside me, nudging my arm as lockers slammed. You are live in there. I shrugged. I talk enough. He laughed. That's a lie. I didn't explain that watching was safer than speaking. At school, quiet kids were either ignored or hunted, and I had learned how to stay between those lines. Morning, Emily said when I passed her desk. Her voice always caught me off guard. Hey, I answered, too quick, too soft. She smiled anyway. Ethan Carter leaned against the window nearby, surrounded by noise. Hail, he called, friendly on the surface. You're like a ghost, man. People laughed. I smiled politely because that was expected. Inside, I noted the way his eyes measured me. At lunch, whispers followed. Did you hear? Someone muttered. He's weird. A tray scraped. Probably thinks he's better than us. I sat with Liam. Something's wrong, he said quietly. They're looking at you. They always look, I replied. He frowned. Not like this. A teacher dropped papers near my desk. Pick those up, she said without looking at me. I bent down while someone snorted behind me. Careful, Ethan joked. Wouldn't want you disappearing under there. Laughter again. I straightened slowly. Yeah, I said. That'd be bad. He tilted his head, surprised I answered. After class, Emily caught up. Are you okay? She asked. You seem tense. I wanted to tell her everything. Instead I said, just tired. She hesitated. If someone's bothering you, they're not, I cut in, too fast. Her smile faded, and she nodded, stepping back like distance was safer. By the lockers, Liam whispered, Ethan's been asking about you. About what? About your family. Why you moved here. My stomach tightened. Why would he care? Liam shrugged. He always needs a target. I watched Ethan across the hall, laughing, loved, untouchable. I knew that type. I had met him before, in different faces. That night, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. You should transfer, the message read. Another followed. Before things get messy. I stared at the screen, calm settling over me like ice. I'd seen messier. I'd survived worse than rumors and smiles sharpened into knives. In the mirror, I barely recognized the boy everyone thought was weak. Not again, I whispered to myself. At school the next morning, conversations stopped when I walked by. Doors closed softly. Teachers avoided my eyes. Ethan passed me and murmured, just looking out for you. His breath smelled like confidence. I realized then this wasn't random. Someone had decided I was easy to break. Someone was pushing, testing, planning. My chest tightened, not with fear, but with recognition. I kept my head down, but my mind was already moving. I had learned what happened when you underestimated quiet people. And this time, I knew I was the target. Liam caught my sleeve. Promise me you won't do anything stupid. I met his eyes. I promise I won't do anything loud. He swallowed. That doesn't help. It's the truth, I said. Across the hall, Ethan watched us, smile thin. You good? He asked, stepping closer. Always, I replied. You sure? Why wouldn't I be? He leaned in. People like you crack eventually. I held his gaze. People like you forget who they're dealing with. The bell rang, sharp and final. Students moved, noise returning, but something had shifted. Emily glanced back at me, worry written clear. I wanted to tell her to stay away. I wanted to ask her to stay. I said nothing. Silence was still my armor. As I walked to class, my phone buzzed again. Last warning, the message said. I deleted it. My hands were steady. Fear would come later, maybe. Right now, all I felt was focus. They thought this was the beginning of my end. I knew better. It was just the beginning. I sat at my desk and opened my notebook. You okay? A girl whispered behind me. Fine, I said. It wasn't a lie. Not anymore. The room felt smaller, like walls listening. Ethan's laugh echoed faintly, forced. I wrote one line on the page and underlined it twice. Stay. Whatever came next, I wouldn't run. I wouldn't beg. I wouldn't disappear. They had made their choice. So had I. The storm was already here, and for the first time, I stood still, letting it see me, daring it to try. I knew tomorrow would hurt, but tonight, I was unafraid. Relax, Ethan said behind me, voice easy. It's just a joke. I turned slowly. What joke? Jake stepped closer. Don't act dumb. Noah blocked the other side. You know what you did. I didn't. That was the point. Move, I said. Jake laughed. Hear that? He thinks he's tough. Phones lifted. Someone whispered, record it. My chest tightened. What's going on? I asked. Ethan raised his hands. Hey, calm down. No need to get angry. Jake shoved me. Hard. I stumbled into a desk. Stop, I said. Noah grinned. Stop what? Laughter burst out. Look at his face, someone said. He's scared. I wasn't scared. I was cornered. Back off, I warned. Ethan sighed loudly. See? He's threatening us. A phone zoomed in. Say that again, a girl giggled. This is gold. Jake grabbed my collar. Apologize. For what? I snapped. He punched my shoulder. Pain shot down my arm. For thinking you're better. I never said that, I said. Ethan shook his head sadly. Man, why do you always start things? I stared at him. You set this up. He smiled. Don't blame me for your temper. Teacher, someone yelled, laughing. Too late, Noah said. Another shove. I hit the floor. The room spun. Get up, Jake said. Show them. I stayed down, breath sharp, hands clenched. Look, Ethan said calmly. He attacked first. Phones kept rolling. Yeah, someone agreed. I saw it. Lies stacked fast. A teacher burst in. What is going on? Silence fell. Ethan stepped forward. He lost control, he said gently. We tried to calm him. I pushed myself up. That's not true. The teacher frowned at me. Is that so? Jake rubbed his arm. He swung at me. Noah nodded. Out of nowhere. Laughter returned, softer now. Office, the teacher said, pointing at me. Now. Ethan looked apologetic. I hope you get help, he said quietly. My ears rang. In the hallway, whispers followed. Crazy. Knew it. Told you he was weird. I kept walking. My hand shook, but my face stayed blank. I had learned that trick long ago. The counselor folded her hands. This isn't your first incident, she said. It's my first fight, I replied. She sighed. Perception matters. Maybe a new environment would be healthier. You want me to leave, I said. I want you safe, she corrected. I nodded like I agreed. Inside, something cracked. At home, my mom asked, what happened? My dad said, did you hurt someone? No, I said. They hurt me. Silence. The school called, Mom whispered. They think you're unstable. I'm fine, I said. Dad stuttered me. You don't look fine. I can handle it, I insisted. That was a lie too. That night, I stared at the ceiling. I had been here before. Different place. Same pattern. Smiles turning sharp. Truth bending until I broke. I promised myself it wouldn't happen again. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Told you. The message read. Another followed. This ends if you leave. The next day, people stared openly. Emily avoided my eyes. Liam whispered, I saw the video. Which one? I asked. He swallowed. The one where you look guilty. I laughed once. It sounded wrong. They edited it. I know, he said. But others don't. Ethan passed by, clapping slowly. Rough day, he said. You okay? I met his gaze. You planned this. He leaned closer, voice low. And it worked. By the lockers, he stopped me. You don't belong here, he whispered. I felt the heat rise in my chest, sharp and burning. "I'm not leaving," I said. He smiled wider, cruel now. "You will." He leaned in until only I could hear him. "Just leave." He straightened, laughing loudly. "See you around," he said. I stood there long after he walked away. My legs felt heavy. My mind raced. Everyone thought I was weak. They always did at first. I breathed in slowly, counting like I used to. I wasn't broken yet, but I knew something important had changed. This wasn't bullying anymore. This was a test. And if I failed, I'd disappear. I picked up my bag. My hands were steady again. Fear pressed at me, but beneath it was something colder. Memory. Experience. I had survived worse storms than this. Ethan believed I was powerless. That belief was his mistake. I walked to class, eyes forward, carrying the weight quietly. They had pushed me into a corner. I had learned long ago what corners were for. They were where you decided whether to fall. I didn't sleep. I lay on my bed staring at the ceiling while my phone buzzed with messages I refused to open. "You should ignore them," my mom said through the door. "I'm fine," I answered. It sounded empty. My pride felt bruised, deeper than the ache in my shoulder. "You don't have to go back," my dad said quietly at dinner. I pushed food around my plate. "Running won't fix it," I said. "Staying might break you," he replied. Liam met me outside school. "Please don't transfer," he said before I could speak. "This isn't your fault." I looked at the ground. "It doesn't matter whose fault it is." "It matters to me," he said. "If you leave, they win." I shrugged. "Maybe I'm tired of fighting." He grabbed my arm. "You're not weak." I pulled free. "You don't know what weak looks like." Emily stopped talking to me. When I passed her desk, she looked away. "Emily," I said softly. She flinched. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I can't get involved." "I didn't ask you to," I said. She nodded, eyes glossy, already stepping back. That hurt more than the shove, more than the lies. Being avoided felt like being erased. At night, memories crept in. Different walls. Different names. "You'll be okay," someone had told me back then. I changed my name because I needed distance from who I was. I promised myself I'd never be helpless again. "You survived," I whispered into the dark. "Don't forget that." My hand shook anyway. Liam texted. "They're spreading something new." I typed back. "What?" He hesitated. "They're saying you attacked a girl before you moved here." My chest went cold. "That's a lie." "I know," he said. "But people believe what they want." I closed my eyes. This was the line. Past and present colliding. At school, whispers grew louder. I heard his dangerous. My brother warned me. Ethan stood near the lockers, smiling like he'd won. "You okay?" he asked loudly. "People are worried about you." I stepped closer. "You crossed a line." He laughed. "You don't have lines." "I have limits," I said. He leaned in. "Then leave." The counselor called me in again. "Have you considered transferring?" she asked gently. I stared at the floor. "Yes," I said. My voice cracked. "It might be best," she agreed. Walking out, my legs felt heavy. I imagined packing boxes, starting over, disappearing cleanly. Part of me wanted that peace. Liam cornered me by the stairs. "Say you're not leaving," he begged. "I don't know," I said. "I can't watch this happen to you," he said. "You don't have to," I replied. "I've done this alone before." He shook his head. "You don't have to now." That night, Ethan posted the rumor openly. Screenshots flooded in. "You're sick," one message read. "Stay away from girls." I felt something inside me go still. Not fear. Not sadness. Resolve. I remembered who I was before I learned silence. I remembered surviving worse things than whispers. I looked at my packed bag. "You can leave," my reflection said. "Or you can stand." I sat on the bed and exhaled slowly. "I'm done hiding," I whispered. The decision settled, heavy but clear. I deleted the transfer form. Tomorrow would be hard. But running would be harder. I walked into school the next day with my head up. People stared. Ethan smirked. I met his eyes and didn't look away. He frowned, confused. Liam smiled faintly. Emily watched from across the hall, uncertain. I felt exposed, but strong. I had almost walked away. Almost. I chose to stay, but I stopped reacting. That was the first change. "You're quiet today," Liam said as we walked. "I'm listening," I replied. He stuttered me. "That's worse." I shrugged. Calm felt new, but it fit. Ethan watched from across the hall. "Lose your voice," he called. "No," I said evenly. Just choosing my words. His smile twitched. Mr. Wright filled in for history. "You," he said, pointing at me. "You're thinking." "About the lesson," I answered. He smiled. "Stay after class." Ethan snorted behind me. "Teacher's pet now." I ignored him. "After the bell," Mr. Wright said, "you see patterns. Ever thought about debate?" "I notice things," I said. "That's enough." He nodded. "It usually is." "Why are you helping me?" I asked. "I'm not," he said. "I'm listening." That mattered. "Write things down," he added. "Dates. Words. Truth survives paper." I took his advice. Screenshots. Times. Names. Quiet work. Power felt different when it waited. In the library, I spoke to people Ethan overlooked. "Did you see what happened?" I asked Jake's lab partner. "I saw who started it," she said softly. "But I don't want trouble." "I won't put you in it," I said. "Just tell the truth when asked." She hesitated. "Okay." One yes at a time. Ethan tried again. "You're acting brave," he said by the vending machines. "It's cute." "I'm acting patient," I replied. He leaned closer. "That won't save you." "It already is," I said. He laughed too loud. "You think you're smarter than me." "I think you're careless," I answered. His eyes flashed. "You look scared," he said later, circling me with Jake and Noah. "Do I?" I asked. "Because you keep checking your phone." Jake frowned. "He's bluffing." "Maybe," I said. "Or maybe I'm taking notes." Noah scoffed. "On what?" "On mistakes," I said. Ethan waved them back. "Leave him," he said. "He wants attention." He didn't notice the phones not pointed at me this time. Mr. Wright stopped me after school. "Pressure?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "But I can hold it." He studied my face. "You've done this before." "Survived," I corrected. "Learned," he said. I didn't answer. Some lessons cost too much to explain. Emily finally spoke. "Are you okay?" she asked, voice shaking. "I'm careful," I said. "I'm sorry I stepped back." "I know," I replied. "Fear spreads fast." She nodded. "Ethan scares me." "He should," I said. "But not forever." Ethan kept slipping. "Don't record me," he snapped once. "I wasn't," I said. "Why would you think that?" His jaw tightened. "Because you're sneaky." "Because you're nervous," I said. He turned away. Power shifted when truth stayed quiet. A senior stopped me near the stairs. "You remind me of my cousin," he said. "Who?" I asked. "The kid Ethan ran out last year." My breath caught. "What happened?" "Same play," he said. "Rumors. Videos. He left." I swallowed. "His name." He said it. It was a name I knew. That night, I opened an old message thread. A promise I'd made burned on the screen. I won't let him do this again. The room felt smaller. Anger settled, sharp and clear. This wasn't just about school. It never was. Ethan hadn't just targeted me. He'd repeated himself. And he'd crossed into my past. The next morning, Ethan grinned. "Still here?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "Good," he replied. "This will be fun." I looked at him, finally certain. "You don't know who I am," I said. He laughed. "I know exactly who you are." I shook my head. No, I said quietly. You really... I stopped chasing answers and started letting people talk. You're quiet again, Jake said, leaning back in his chair. Thinking, I replied. About what? Noah asked. About how stories change, I said. Jake laughed. Only when people lie. Exactly, I said, and turned my phone face down, recording. You really think Ethan planned it? Jake asked Noah later. Obviously, Noah said. He told me to shove him. He told you? I asked, pretending surprise. Noah froze. Not like that. Like how? I pushed. Jake waved his hand. Chill, man. It's not serious. It wasn't serious to you, I said. It was content. Jake snorted. Everyone loved it. I saved the clip and said nothing. Sarah Collins found me in the library. I heard you're collecting things, she said softly. Only the truth, I replied. She nodded. I want to help. Why? I asked. Because people keep getting hurt, she said. And because stories matter. I hesitated. This gets messy. I know, she said. I'm careful. I handed her a folder. Then be patient. She smiled. I already am. Emily started asking questions. Did you really say that about him? She asked Ethan near the lockers. Of course not, he said. He's twisting things. Then why does everyone have messages? She asked. He frowned. Who's everyone? She didn't answer. Later, she whispered to me. He lies too easily. Watch longer, I said. Truth gets loud. Ethan tested me. What are you doing after school? He asked casually. Studying, I said. With who? With notes, I replied. He laughed, sharp. You think you're clever. I think I'm calm, I said. His eyes narrowed. Calm people snap. Rushed people slip, I answered. He walked away. Jake tried to backtrack. Delete that, he said, cornering me. What? I asked. You know. If I knew, I said, I'd write it down. He cursed. You're playing games. I'm letting you speak, I said. He stormed off. My hands didn't shake anymore. That scared me. At night, I stared at the recordings. This feels good, I admitted to myself. Too good. I remembered Ethan's smile and wondered if mine looked the same now. Don't become him, I whispered. Silence answered. Revenge felt clean when it moved slowly. That frightened me more than fear ever had. Sarah texted. We have enough. I replied, almost. She wrote, Ethan's nervous. I smiled without joy. Emily stopped me after class. He asked if you're spying, she said. What did you say? That you're smarter than he thinks, she replied. I nodded. So are you. She swallowed. I should have spoken sooner. You're speaking now, I said. Ethan made a mistake the next day. Delete the folder. He snapped at Noah in front of me. What folder? I asked. Nothing, Noah said quickly. Too late, I thought. After school, Ethan confronted me. What do you want? He demanded. For you to keep talking, I said. You think you can beat me? I think you're helping me, I replied. He leaned close. Careful, he warned. Careful is my thing, I said. He stepped back, confused, angry. I watched him walk away and felt the weight of what I'd built. Messages saved. Voices recorded. Dates aligned. The evidence was complete. I sat on my bed and stared at the folder. Not yet, I told myself. Timing mattered. Power waited. I chose the moment in my head, slow and precise. The long game was over. Now I decided. I didn't post anything. I didn't send messages. I just waited. Did you see this? Liam whispered, shoving his phone toward me. No, I said, even as my heart raced. Someone leaked the video, he said. The full one. I nodded. Good. He stared. You knew. I hoped, I replied. In class, phones buzzed non-stop. This changes everything, a girl said. Look at Ethan's face. Someone laughed. A teacher snapped, "Put those away," but her voice shook. Screenshots spread faster than control. "These messages are real," a boy muttered. "They planned it." I kept my eyes forward. Power felt quiet. Ethan stormed into the hallway. "Who did this?" he shouted. "This is fake." Jake stood pale beside him. "It's not fake," Jake said softly. Ethan spun. "Shut up." "I won't," Jake snapped. "I'm not taking the fall." I stopped by my locker and listened. "You told me to do it," Jake said. "You said he'd leave." Ethan's face drained. "Noah didn't show up. He deleted his accounts," Liam whispered. "Smart," I said. The counselor called assemblies. "An investigation is underway," the principal announced. Whispers turned sharp. "Finally," someone said. Teachers watched Ethan now. He noticed. I felt a strange calm. Is this what winning feels like? I asked myself. It wasn't joy. It was heavy, like setting down something I'd carried too long. "I thought I'd smile," I whispered. I didn't. Emily cornered Ethan near the stairs. "You lied to me," she said. "I didn't," he snapped. "Then explain this," she said, holding up a phone. "You used people," she continued. "You hurt him." I stayed behind the door, listening. "He deserved it," Ethan said. "He's nothing." Emily's voice broke. "You're cruel." "You liked me," he shot back. "I liked who I thought you were," she replied. Silence followed. Mr. Wright stopped me after school. "You see the ripple?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "Does it feel good?" "It feels final," I replied. He nodded. "Finish it clean." "I don't want revenge," I said. "Then choose justice," he replied. "They look the same at first." Jake confessed formally. "I was scared," he told the office. "I did what Ethan said." His voice cracked. "I'm sorry." I believed him. Fear makes cowards honest. The investigation moved fast after that. "Suspension pending review," the email read. Students gathered like it was a show. I stood apart. Ethan paced the hall. "This isn't over," he hissed when he saw me. "You think you won." "I didn't play," I said. "Someone did," he replied. "Someone smarter," I answered. He searched my face. "It was you." I said nothing. The announcement came before last bell. Ethan Carter is suspended effective immediately. Gasps. Phones lifted. Ethan froze. For the first time, his confidence shattered. He looked at me again, really looked. Fear replaced arrogance. "What did you do?" he whispered. "I waited," I said. He opened his mouth, then closed it. Teachers guided him away. Students watched, silent now. Liam exhaled. "It's done," he said. "Almost," I replied. I felt no cheer, no relief. Just weight lifting slowly. As the hallway cleared, I stood alone. Karma had moved without my name on it. That mattered. I didn't need credit. I needed balance. Ethan glanced back once more before disappearing. His eyes held questions he'd never ask aloud. He knew then. Someone outplayed him. And for the first time, "Sit down," Ethan said, closing the empty classroom door behind him. "We need to talk." "You don't get to decide that anymore," I replied. He scoffed. "You think you're powerful now." "I think you're scared," I said. He laughed, shaky. "You did this," he snapped. "You ruined me." "You ruined yourself," I answered. He paced. "You were supposed to leave," he said. "That was the plan." "You planned it," I said. "Say it." He stopped. "Fine," he muttered. "I planned it." "Why?" I asked. "Because you were quiet," he said. "Because people like you disappear easily." My jaw tightened. "You didn't even check who I was." He frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" "I've changed schools before," I said. "Changed names." He blinked. So you used the same method on someone last year," I said. His face drained. "Who?" "Say his name," I said. Silence. "Say it," I repeated. "Daniel," he whispered. My chest burned. He was my cousin, I said. You broke him. Ethan stumbled back. I didn't know. You never asked, I said. I thought you were weak, he said. I thought you'd fold. I learned not to, I replied. From people like you. He rubbed his face. I didn't think you'd fight back. You mistake quiet for surrender, I said. That's your flaw. He laughed bitterly. You're enjoying this. No, I said. I'm controlling it. He dropped into a chair. Please, he said. Make it stop. I watched him shrink. Anger flared, then cooled. I already did, I said. I didn't post your name. Then why is this happening? He asked. Because karma doesn't need permission, I replied. It just needs time. You're just like me, he accused. I shook my head. I could be, I said. But I chose not to. He looked up. You could end this. You ended it, I said. When you planned to break me. His eyes filled. I was wrong, he said. I regret it. Regret doesn't fix patterns, I replied. The door opened. Ethan Carter, the principal said. This meeting is over. Ethan stood, shaking. Wait, he said to me. What's your name? I met his eyes. You knew it, I said. You just never remembered it mattered. He swallowed. In the office, voices blurred. Final evidence submitted. Expulsion approved. Ethan turned once. I'm sorry, he said. I nodded. I know. Security escorted him out. The room felt lighter. Not happy. Finished. I walked into the hallway alone. My hands were steady. He finally remembered my name. School felt quieter. It's over, Liam said as we walked in. Feels strange, I replied. You okay? I don't know yet. He nodded. I'm not going anywhere. That mattered more than he knew. Emily stopped me near the lockers. I owe you an apology, she said. You don't owe me anything, I replied. I do, she insisted. I was scared. So was I said. She looked down. I should have believed you. You believe me now, I said. That's enough. She smiled sadly. You changed. I had to, I replied. At home, my parents sat me down. We need to talk, my mom said. About before, my dad added. I took a breath. I didn't tell you everything, I said. We know, Mom whispered. But we know enough now. Dad said, you survived something hard. Yes, I said. And I didn't want it to follow me. Mom squeezed my hand. It doesn't define you. It shaped me, I replied. Liam texted later. People say Ethan moved. I typed back. Good. He replied, do you feel better? I stared at the screen. I feel finished, I wrote. He sent a thumbs up. Proud of you. I sat alone and thought about revenge. Did I want him to hurt? I asked myself. Or did I want the hurting to stop? The answer surprised me. I didn't feel joy. I felt quiet. Peace wasn't loud like anger. It didn't clap when you won. Emily asked, would you do it again? I paused. I'd protect myself, I said. I wouldn't chase pain. She nodded. That's growth. That's survival, I replied. The hallway buzzed less now. No whispers. No phones raised. A teacher smiled at me. Good morning, she said. Good morning, I answered. It felt normal. Normal felt earned. I thought about Ethan once. Just once. He's gone, someone said behind me. Forgotten, another replied. I didn't feel relief. I felt distance. That was better. My dad asked, what happens next? I keep going, I said. As who? He asked. I thought for a moment. As me, I replied. At school's end, Liam said, you coming? I shook my head. I need a minute. He nodded. I'll wait. He always did. I stood in the empty hallway. The place where it started. The place where I almost disappeared. "You're not that person anymore," I whispered. I wasn't proud. I wasn't broken. I was changed. I walked forward alone, steady, knowing one thing for sure. I would never be in. The assembly hall was packed. I stepped up to the microphone, hands steady. "I'm not here for attention," I said. "I'm here to speak the truth." A few whispers ran through the crowd. I ignored them. I was quiet, I admitted. I stayed silent because I thought it was safer. I thought hiding would keep me safe. A teacher nodded at the side. I swallowed. It didn't. I looked out at the students. Silence protects no one when lies spread faster than voices. I survived because I learned to stand, not because I ran. Some heads turned, eyes widening. Emily watched from the front row, her hand gripping her bag. I smiled faintly. And I didn't have to do it alone. I paused, letting it sink in. People hurt me. People lied about me. But I stayed, and I found truth. Liam's eyes met mine. He nodded once. "It was hard," I said softly. "I won't pretend it wasn't. Every day felt heavy, every whisper cut deep." I looked toward the empty spot in the crowd where Ethan should have been. And yet, the weight didn't break me. It made me stronger. A student raised a hand. "What kept you going?" I smiled faintly. "Hope," I said. "And patience." I didn't fight blindly. I observed. I learned. I waited for the moment to reclaim my voice. Sarah, sitting near the back, gave a small thumbs up. "Truth," I said. "It's quiet, but it never lies. When you have it, you don't need to shout." Emily approached afterward. "You were amazing," she whispered. "You stayed when I wanted to run." I nodded. I stayed because leaving would have meant giving them victory. I stayed because I wanted to choose who I become, not let pain decide for me. She looked down. "I understand now." I let her. At home, my parents asked, "How was it?" "Exhausting," I said, "but necessary." My mom hugged me. "We are proud," she whispered. "Not because you fought," I said, "but because you didn't let fear dictate you." Dad nodded. "You've grown." "I have," I admitted. "And I will keep growing." I reflected on my past, on the names I changed, the silence I carried, the fear I felt. I used to hide. I murmured to myself. Now I speak. My scars didn't vanish. They never would. But they no longer controlled me. They remind me what I survived, I whispered, and what I can endure. At school the next week, students greeted me differently. Some with curiosity, some with respect. Teachers smiled openly. No one whispered behind my back. Even in hallways, my steps felt lighter. I met Liam. "Feels different," he said. "It does," I replied. "Not better, not worse. Just mine." Emily joined me. "You've changed," she said. "We all have," I said. "Not the same as before. Never the same. And that's okay." I felt a quiet pride. Not triumphant, not loud. Just calm. Just settled. I thought of Ethan, of the lessons, of the waiting. He never understood who I was, I admitted silently. And now, neither does anyone who tried to hurt me. I walked past empty classrooms, past lockers I once avoided, and realized I had reclaimed every inch. Not for revenge, not for victory, but for me. The assembly had ended. Students left. I stood alone for a moment, breathing in the emptiness, feeling it settle like a blanket. I stayed, I whispered. I survived. I speak. I live. My reflection in the window looked steady, certain. Not untouched. Scarred, yes. But unbroken. Whole, in ways I had never allowed before. The last bell rang. I walked out of the hall, head high, steps calm. I wasn't the quiet boy hiding from fear. I wasn't the target anymore. I was someone who had endured, learned, and chosen to remain. And that choice, that quiet, deliberate choice, was mine, fully,